grateful for all the efforts that people do. I'm an entrepreneur above everything. Farming myself, having been in the industry of preparing foods, processing foods, distributing foods, there's many good opportunities here, and it needs a couple of mindset changes in Uganda. And me being here, I really hope, and I see that people also are open to listen and to consider changes, small changes, and that helps me also. That helps me to speak with people and to share my ideas about low-cost farming. Successful farming is not the same as expensive farming.
Okay. So omugeni waife alikoba nti yainumiriza ino mukuboneka nti atugwa amagezi ag'okuboneka nga tulima era nga okulima kuno tikwa beeyi oba kwa mpiya ediwalaire nti wetaaga bukere na bukere bwa sente mulime yakola nti amagezi gatuwa ife abalimi ababulido naga gasobola okutwamba twalima nga tukozesa empiya ntono nti twaba nga tufuna mu kinene era kanti bintu bingi byetwetaaga okuboneka nga tutereezaamu ife abalimi ababulido tuli kwogerako iwe omulimi iwe olimisa embaga eno eyabulido andiho gye tuli kwogerako kuba tuli kwenda tutandikire kwiga getunatuukirako oyo ali kulima ng'akozesa tractor, at least iwe wagansi onaaba ng'oviire kubanga abalimi abagansi okuli tubanga twetegereza statistics da Uganda diraga nti abalimi bano abajja mu maiso okuba nga balima nga bakozesa embago ndaifedo mukolo ogutundutundu gwa 7.5 buli ku 100 era kyabanga kiraga nti imwe ku gross domestic product ey'eiwanga kumpi mu contributing 48%. Era mwaba, so it means you are twin. You're my brother. So what are those things you would like to share with us where you think that there is need to change?
Well, for me the most important thing in change is we have to start at the bottom. Like you cook a pizza. You start at the bottom, and the bottom for a farmer is the soil. The soil needs the feeding, because without soil a plant cannot grow, a plant cannot flower, a plant cannot produce fruits.
How can we feed the soil? Should we go to the market, we buy food so that we bring to the soil, be fed?
That is what the markets want, yes, you go to the agri-vet, that is what they want. But a lot of feed that you give to your trees, to your plants, you can make yourself, you can grow yourself. And that is what then becomes a little bit the professional part of farming, and that is why I am here. That is what I want to share with people. And I have that knowledge. I learned it from many other farmers. I learned it from input manufacturers. I learned it from scientists, and I built that together in a new approach. I am very active on social media, in WhatsApp groups, and there is one group that even gave that strategy, that practices a name. They call it Baba technology.
Okay. So omugeni waife alikoba nti bwe tubanga tunalima twafuna mu bukalamu ye isira litakuba nga tuliikiriza itaka nti ezira ngeri gye tunaafuna kye tuli kwenda mu itaka eryo likulimamu nga tuliriikiriza ebiseera ebisinga bungi abantu mpulira twogera iwe oyogera ninze nayogera nti banange itaka likeirike ne bw'osimba ebintu bifa bufa ezira kyofuna so omukugu waife ali tukoba nti nga tunaafuna tulina kutandika kukuliikiriza itaka nti okuliikiriza itaka tikwetaaga nti olumukire ku idduuka ogula ebigimusa ebyo byokozesaako ebyo ebiwusuubi byembooli amagaata emikonzi ku ngira ebyo bisobola okuliikiriza itaka omukugu waife awo wasimbye amakanda. I'm back to Mr. Engineer Jan Williams Van. So you were talking about feeding the soil. Let us look at feeding the soil at a local level, a low level, whereby we are not going to incur a lot of expenses. What are the requirements? We would like to know the requirements which will help us to feed the soil.
Now first let me explain maybe a little bit more about why do we need to feed the soil.
Okay.
Before we start talking, what are we giving the soil?
It is essential.
Yeah. Just look at your own situation in your own family. If you feed your children, you know that they need 2 or 3 times a day a meal. Yeah. So if you give them today food, you can never think that tomorrow I can skip because I fed them today.
Today.
Yeah. The same with plants. If you gave last week or last year, last season, if we give last season compost and fertilizer, then don't think you need to give it again.
Sometimes they say that excess fertilizer usage is harmful to the soil. That's why others they do skip.
But I'm not saying always fertilizers. I speak mainly about compost.
Yes,
I speak about natural sources of nutrients, which also includes mulching, because the mulch will decay, and the nutrients. First the fungi who make it smaller, then the bacteria who mineralize it. And then it goes to the bacteria that are around the roots and that transport it into the roots. So feeding. So how do we make feed? The most important is compost. And compost you can do anaerobe, as we call that. That is maybe for woody parts. You do the anaerobe, which is on a heap which you turn, which gets very hot, which is a mix of animal dung with wood ash and maybe biochar, and definitely more than 50% is green farm waste. Those cuttings that you take from your farm, leaves, which is easily decaying and being broken down into food which the plant can eat. And then you can use worms, earthworms. I've not seen many people here using earthworms to digest, to compost the leftovers or even the animal dung. Very, very fertile soil as a result, plus the water, the juice, the tea as we call it, that comes from it, is the perfect feeding for free.
Okay.
The last one, of course, but that requires a little bit more investment. I think less than most people fear, but biodigesters. The slurry from the biodigester is giving you so much more crop, and she gives you a healthier crop, and a healthier crop means you have to spray less. So you don't touch your wallet to buy all those chemicals to keep your plant growing and keep it healthy enough for you at one day to be able to harvest it and to get money for it.
Check. So omugeni weffe alitukoba nti amazima gene okuliikiriza eitaka kyetaagisa atuwere ekyokumalako yaka nti bw'oba ng'olina famire yo ewaka eyo, oli baba oba oli maama n'oliisa abaana bo olwaleero, iddo toyida kubaliisa oba enkeera toyida kubaliisa mbula okuba iddo wabaliisisa beiguyita ino akanti n'eitaka lyona litegweriri nti bw'obanga sizoni eweire wakozesa ebijimusa oba fertilizer neno season ira kulyona weetaaga ante ye alitukoba nti isira tali kulita ku fertilizer ono gwetugula no eisira ali kulita ku kavundira nti osobola okuba ng'okozesa kavundira oyo kuba tumulina aye titumukozesa ate wera ekyokubonerako nti kavundira oyo wa mugaso ino eri eitaka lyaife. Akobye nti bw'oba ng'olingirire ennimiro yo n'otoola ebikoola ebyo n'oyalirira okwalirira mu luzungu, abasinga bungize tyasoma ku luzungu ayi mwe mwasoma mu kweta mulching, n'oleeta endagala edo n'obwika ebisande ebyo ebintuntu ebyo n'obwika nga bw'obwikirira enaana edo nga dirijja atandika okutaaka oba nga diteireko eitaka n'olibwika bukalamu nga ebibugumu lye lisigala mu itaka omwo alika nti ekyo kyamba nti bino by'obuyise ku itaka lyo bituuka ekiseera byavunda, bwe bivunda biriibwe enseete ate byaba nga bikola ekijimusa ekirungi ino nti oba tina ekyo tulina engeri kamala edda okuba nga tukola mu nakavundiro oyo osobola osima ekiina waayiwanga ebintu ebyo byokozesa oba mawaata gamba oli ago oba bisubi wajja wasala ebisubi byokwongera waayiwamu osobola nikalimba oyo n'obusa bwene wasobola okuba nga obuleeta wabukozesa waayiwa mu kiina ebintu ebyo ebivundame waatolamu wajja waayiwa mu nnimi oyo oba oli kugiriikiriza buli lwogiriikiriza otyo oba olijja kufuna kyoyenda ayi singa oba tokoze ekyo amazima gali nti ne bw'olirima emyaka n'emyaka olijja okwesanga nga ezira kyoli kufunamu. Omugeni weffe eyo n'engeri gyali kuba nga atuyinza nti kyendi kwenda oyegemu nti twetaaga okuliikiriza eitaka lyaffe tusobola okufuna ekyo kye twetaaga. Mr. Waiswa, back to you please. We are talking about organic manure. What else do we need after applying organic manure?
Well, for me, an organic manure is only one ingredient in compost, and you never hear me using the word manure if it comes to compost, because compost is a ready product produced out of raw materials, and one of the raw materials is dung, is manure. But we need to add many more products, and the good thing is that a lot of those ingredients we can grow ourselves, and or even we can find along the roadside as a wheat. Mexican sunflower is one of those examples. What I also see is that people throw away the ash after they have cooked the wood ash, but that's a such
it becomes a burden to them.
Yeah, but you should mix it in your compost
That's
hill.
why they dispose it off.
You should mix it and you should feed it to your plants, because don't forget that wood ash comes from trees.
Exactly.
The trees have taken water from the bottom and have taken carbon from the air,
They have all the nutrients.
but there is so many other things that come from the soil. So I always say 10% of what you harvest. If you harvest 100 kilo, that means that you have to give back to the soil 10 kilos. And you use that from those materials, partly in dung, biochar. If you don't throw away the cobs of your maize, burn them to charcoal and grind them and use them, mix them in your compost, because your plants, your soil will be so much benefiting from it.
We use them as fuel for cooking.
Then you have the wood ash. But don't use everything for cooking. Also use some of it to keep, because biochar is a perfect hideout for microbes in the soil. And the microbes, the ubber, the taxi that brings the nutrient from the soil into the plant, into the root. So you have to make sure, and it's very important that we have healthy plants, because healthy plants are self-repellent. If they are self-repellent, that means that the pests and diseases don't come in that big number, which means that you have more harvest, and that means that you have more money out of your garden.
Check. So omugeni waffe mulungi ali ku 94.5 mwidda kunsaasira era ndina okwongera okugonzagonza mu lulimi wedi bwe ntagonzagonza mu maama wange oweere nankandulo ayinza obutantegeera bukalamu kyendikuyaka nti olwaleero. So omugeni waffe ali tukuba nti amazima geene ebintu bye twetaaga okuliikiriza ettaka tubirina, atuweera ekyokubonera ku Yakoba nti eivu ife abafumbise oniima omufumbisa amanda, ekigambo eivu bwendogera ku eivu mulitegeera bukalamu nti abandi bwe tuba nalyo mu madokooni eyo nirigera tulibeda twajja twayiwa ku muti twabunga ku muti lyakola bwakisa kukiramba, twerabira nti eivu ero bw'oliyuwa mu nnimiro lirina ekigimusa mu lyo, lirina ekyo ekiriisa ebirime kye byetaaga, nti okuva n'olwayo kitegeere nti eivu ero lya mugaso, era iwe tandika kuliyuwa bwa mu nnimiro yo kuba lirimu ekirungo kya potassium ekyetaagisibwa eri ebirime byo. Yaka nti baduuma oyo nga wamaze okuba nga omukongola oba okunuula duuma n'osobola okuba nga omuleeta aka, bw'omala okumulungula ebitinkiriri waira abantu bifumbisa, osobola ebitinkiriri ebyo okubibunga oba wabona engeri gy'obisekulasekulamu, wasobola okuba nga obiyiwa mu nnimiro ng'ebiduumaduuma bwe tubyetaaga mu nnimiro. So alikola nti ebyo bwe tuba nga tubikoze amazima geene empya tuba nga tulijja kunoga bukalamu ino. So eddakiika tuzaayo 3 tuyingire essaawa essaawa 2 genda kuba amakubo mu lulimi Olungereza. Nendamu ntegere bukalamu tuli kwenda kuboneka nti tutema mpenda, tulinye tutya ate tufunye tutya empya, were nga tulina ebizibu ebitusoomooza ebyo nayona gye tuba. Ndowooza olwaleero tunajja okuvaano nga tulina bingi byosobola okuba nga okenkuka. Okay, Mr. Ingiriya John William Van, back to you. Our farmers mostly here, they have, should I call them factors hindering them? However much we are saying that we need to feed the soil. To me, I think that mindset could be the major issue we tap today. What is your take on that?
Yes, I can imagine that many people have been disappointed in the past. They have tried and they had issues, but never give up. Because farmers are professionals. Farmers are people that really should continue to be inventive and they know their land, and they know so much better the climate and the weather than anybody else. But please, important is other than soil that you select and prepare yourself. If you reuse your seeds for this year, then use the nicest ones, use the best ones from the strongest plants, from the most healthy plants. Keep them as a treasure with you to be reused next year. You know, a good farmer, a smart farmer, is also in a way as a lazy farmer, because he has prepared and organized he or herself very well. Yeah? And then things you will see will continue to be better. And don't farm alone. Never farm alone. Farm together with your neighbors.
But they do it at a family level.
But speak about it and go a little bit further than that and share your problems. Ask questions. Try to learn from each other. Try to share also your successes. And don't be afraid to try out new technologies. One of new approach, novelty.
Fear the risks which comes along with the new technology.
But if we don't do it, if we don't change our way of farming, if in life you don't change your approach, if you do tomorrow what you've done yesterday, then next week you have the same problem as you had last week.
Okay. Good.